Welcome to Netlabs Hub. I'm going to teach you how to access FortiGate Firewall in real network infrastructure. At the end of this video, you are going to understand different methods used to access FortiGate Firewall in the network infrastructure and know when to use each method. So this is the topology that I'm going to use. Already cabled and assigned whichever, like I have two departments here. I have sales, I have finance. This is the ISP, this is the firewall. So for the first time, let me show you this. So you need to understand that FortiGate Firewall is a modern unified threat management device manufactured by Fortinet. And before you dive deeper, configuring the VPNs, enforcing traffic filtering, blocking attacks, and all other features in FortiGate, you should have access it. So these are the methods that I have highlighted here that will help you to access the FortiGate firewall for the first time. For example, you can access it in the web. Also, you can access it using CLI through Secure Shell. Also, you can do it through console access or VPN. So this method is only accessed when the IP address, the default IP address of that particular FortiGate firewall is known. Same applies to this. And when it comes to this one, for example, it's a new device from the factory. That is, you've just purchased a new FortiGate firewall. You can use a console, then access it. So out of these four methods, I'm going to show you these two methods. This one I'll just explain to you. For example, if we start with this one, Web GUI or access. Let me show you how to access the FortiGate firewall using GUI. So I'll come to my firewall here, access let me just adjust for you to be able to see clearly. I'll come to the firewall. Then enter the password. This is already configured topology. So once I enter the password, I must identify the IP address that will help me to access this FortiGate to the web. So I have structured this particular lab in a way that this VMware here, this is the server, you can see. So the FortiGate has gotten IP address automatic from this subnet, the subnet onto which the server is based, you can see here. So to know that particular address, you will just come on this, then use this command, diagnose IP address list. You see, this is the IP address that has been assigned automatically to this particular management interface of the FortiGate. So to prove that it is that IP address, it's reachable, we will ping 192.168.1.10.20. So once you do that, just a minute, ping. You see, it's pinging. So I can communicate to the FortiGate through this IP. So once that IP, you use this IP in the web now to access the FortiGate firewall. So that is it. You see, I have accessed the firewall in the web. So that is it. That is the first method of accessing the firewall. You see, this is the dashboard of that FortiGate firewall. You find that in FortiGate firewall, it has a clear graphical user interface whereby you can just interact with it. For example, it is suitable for beginners who have less knowledge in this particular device. So, on this, I'm moving to the next method. So, on the graphical user interface, ensure that you have the IP address, and this is the common method used because majority of the people, network engineers, are not in the know of the most of the commands used on the CLI. So you'll just take the IP. These are the processes that I highlighted here. You connect your PC to the FortiGate interface, connect an IP address on your PC, then open your browser, then enter the firewall IP, just as I have done here. You see, I entered this particular IP to access that firewall. So the advantage of accessing the FortiGate using GUI is that it is easy for beginners, it's user-friendly. Also visual monitoring, you can see you are able to know all the features visual. You see, it's visible. Its features are just, you can just know the entire firewall capability from the look of things. Quick navigation. For example, you are moving from security fabric to VPN or to network interfaces. It is just quick. You just, for example, you can click here on interface just that way to access that interface. So that's what they mean by easy. So features commonly configured using GUI, it's the majority of it is interfaces, VLANs, then DHCP firewalls, then NAT, VPN, user authentication. You can see all these features are highlighted here. Let's be back on dashboard. You see, VPNs is this. Interfaces, you can create them under the VLANs, you can create them under the interfaces. So that is it. Second method, accessing the file using SSH, Secure Shell. Remember, there are these protocols. We've got Secure Shell and Telnet. So we opt to use Secure Shell because Secure Shell has stronger encryption and it's so secure. Mostly always used, unlike Telnet, which is not so secure. Like a threat actor can just access your data because most of the credentials are in plain text. So to access the FortiGate using using CLI through the power of Secure Shell, also you will need to know the IP address and also have some of the Secure Shell based tools like PuTTY, you can see here, or Secure CRT or Terminal Mobile Exterm. So in my case, I have this one and I have another one called Teraterm. So, or you can just use inbuilt command prompt. So in this case, let me just do this. Once I want to access the firewall, let me close this. I want to access the firewall. Log out here. Now I want to access this firewall using SSH. So I will use SSH space admin, then username, then the IP address. The IP address, remember it was that. The moment you type the correct IP address, it will prompt for a password. Once you enter the password, you see, I'm already there. So I can change the host name. So to change the host name is config system global set host name Netlabs. You see, to save this configuration, you use the word end so that it will help you to exit that particular mode and save the configuration. You see, it has changed. So that is it. I have accessed the firewall now using SSH. Or let me cancel this and show you an alternative. You'll use this. This is put now. Then type the IP address. Type the IP address 10.20. You choose the port. Secure Shell operates at port 22. Then you open. The moment you open, you have to accept. Then you can see here. Just let me. So it is easy to access the firewall. You can see here, it is prompting for me to log in. So I will enter the username, log in as who. Then enter the password. You see? Show config system. So you can interact with the firewall using any of the methods. So on the VPN, if the FortiGate is VPN enabled, now you can use that VPN key plus the remote address to access that firewall. Console is for this is the third, and it mostly involves connecting directly to the firewall using a console. Requirements: you need a console cable, mostly USB based. We've got USB to serial adapter if needed. Then some of the examples like these particular tools, like this one I have used. So these are the methods that you should master. In brief, these are the techniques that helps one to access the FortiGate firewall. So you can use the graphical user interface, this one, or use the SSH, that is secure shell, or use console for the first time while setting up your FortiGate firewall. Then finally you can use the VPN for remote access. So thank you so much. But before I exit this particular tutorial, I want to let you know some of the best practices when it comes to FortiGate firewall, or just firewall security best practices as this is concerned. Always remember, when accessing FortiGate firewall, always follow the security best practices, and this is mostly ignored by many people. You should use strong password, then disable unused interfaces. Use HTTP instead of this one because this one is more secure than this. Restrict management basing on IP, then enable multi-factor authentication. Use SSH in case of telnet. So these are some of the things that you should put in consideration if you are a cybersecurity expert or a network engineer, because data is always more important than what it holds. So thank you so much for following this particular lab. Feel free to subscribe to Netlabs Hub for more tutorials. Also, you can contact me through this email. Thank you.